Adam, as we near the end of the year, what are some themes that you've seen, or maybe some cases that you've been through this year that have really highlighted some interesting lessons or things that people might be interested in hearing?
Yeah, there's never a dull moment in workplace law, and it's also hard to believe that we're coming up to the end of 2025 and into 2026. One case that stood out to me involved family members in the same business, where you had one individual sort of on the employer side bringing on a younger individual on the employee side with the intention of training that employee to eventually maybe take over the business and learn the ins and outs of it. And for whatever reason, that it just didn't work out. The employer had high aspirations for this employee, and the employee just wasn't interested in the business. So because of that disconnect in terms of the expectations, there was a falling out at the end, which led to an unemployment filing where there were some misrepresentations made in there and some mudslinging from the employee to the employer, name calling, disparaging information, that type of thing, which prompted us, me representing the employer, to respond and react and send letters and engage in a hearing. And there were family members involved in the hearing process too, which certainly became a little bit uncomfortable. But the reason why I mentioned this particular case, it's all been resolved now, by the way, is because, yes, in certain instances, we all know of businesses that have family members which work together with one another, and it can work out just fine. And same thing goes with close friends. And you've talked about this before, Justin, where friends may enter into a business with one another and it can work out just fine, or it can have the same types of issues that this case had, which is that underpinning emotional feeling where it should have gone differently, essentially, and now I feel worse about it because this is someone that's close to me. That's sort of the underlying sentiment. And the learning lesson from this particular case is to think long and hard from both sides, the employer and the employee's perspective, about, should I be entering into this relationship? And because we all know that most employment relationships don't last forever, what will the feeling be if and when this employment relationship ends? Am I going to feel some type of way about that? Is it going to affect the family dynamic? And if the answer is yes to those things, where it could affect the family dynamic, it could harm the family in general, then it's probably not worth it to enter into this employment relationship. And I think you would agree when it comes to a business as well, where family gets into business together or close friends, think through, how will that impact our friendship or our family relationship if this doesn't work out? And if the answer is it will hurt it, then maybe decide to do something else.